All right, so welcome. I appreciate you guys taking the time to be here. And with me today, I've got one of our rising superstars here at Brookstone Realtors. With me today, I've got Nick Ottenbacher. Nick, I appreciate you taking the time to be here with us this morning.
Yes, sir. What's going on, bro?
All right, so what I wanted to do was kind of walk people through kind of your journey over the last 30, 45 days after joining our company, kind of tell your story of how you've been in real estate over the last year and a half or so, because what's going to happen, Nick, is an agent is going to watch this either now or in the near future. And I'm hoping that somebody gets inspired to take action like you have over the last 30 to 45 days to start getting some of the results that you've been getting. Because I think you would agree, without having the right culture, atmosphere, and guidance, a lot of good agents out there are struggling. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep, agree 100%.
So really quick, kind of tell the audience, how long have you been in real estate?
Yeah, so I started in real estate about 3 years ago. I started basically on, one of the bigger teams. And I think, what I initially liked about it was that environment setting. And that's kind of what I was brought up in. And then probably a year into the business, like any other agent, got a little bit cocky, looked at the splits and said, I think I can make more money going as a solo agent. So as a solo agent, basically the next 2 years, not much success at all. I think, before joining Brookstone, the previous, year to 18 months, closed 10 deals or so, and really was struggling and I think was mostly doing a lot of the work on my own, didn't have that environment and that leadership, day-to-day accountability that I think is critical to success in real estate. And that's kind of where we take it, over the past month and a half since joining Brookstone. Some of those newer pillars that we're putting into our business in terms of daily accountability, I've seen, help me out tremendously over the past couple of months.
That's awesome, man. And that's just the thing, right? I think to your point, so many good people get into this industry, and it's not that anything is wrong with us, but we're only human, right? I mean, left to our own most of the time, we don't do as well on our own as we do when we're surrounded with people that are holding us accountable, motivating us, and inspiring us to do what it is that we say we want to do. So let me ask you this, and you touched on it a little bit before, but what attracted you to join Brookstone in the first place?
Yeah, so initially it was that, 100% model. I came from, Keller Williams, where basically I was always, a borderline capper. So for, 90% of the year, one year didn't even cap. So I was really paying a 64-36 split, plus all of the expenses on top of that. So my profitability was closer to a 50-50 margin on every closed transaction. You look at the Brookstone model, 300 a month, and then you're basically 100% profitability. For me personally, my biggest expense is for every listing, getting photography and that sort of thing done. So I looked at it as joining Brookstone initially, I'd double my profitability. So that completely made sense. But then I met with you and, I looked at some of your trainings online, and I think more so than the profitability aspect of it, it's the coaching, it's the training, it's the accountability and the culture of being here that really is going to make this company stand out and, make it a lot better.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And I appreciate you saying that, but you're right. You know what I mean? I think that from my standpoint, 100% commission is just the way that the industry should be from a baseline perspective, unless an agency or a company or a team's providing an agent with, paying for their assistant, paying for their Google advertising or their Facebook marketing. Unless there's something tangible like that, to your point, I think from a brokerage agent relationship standpoint, that it should be 100% commission. But the other thing that you mentioned is that, and this is the hard thing for people to understand, is what you're talking about from a training, coaching, leadership perspective. Walk us through kind of what the difference was or has been from before over the last 18 months to where you're at now in some of the results that you've been able to get over the last 30 days being inside of Brookstone with coaching, training, accountability. What does that look like for you now?
Yeah, I think, the initial thing that I look at is, at least my past experience is, a lot of, the leadership or coaching that you're getting, they're not actually, doing the things that they're teaching at a high level. I think that was kind of most important for me. When I was looking at your coaching initially, I hadn't really heard of you, but then I could actually look at, your statistics on Real Comp, and I'm like, all right, this guy's actually doing the thing that he's saying he's doing. He's not just teaching on theory. But in terms of, day to day, what we're doing that's benefiting me is initially it's that daily accountability call. So I know me, you, and a few other agents in the company, every morning, we have a call at 7:45 where we're laying down, what we did yesterday. If we hit our results, that's good. If we didn't hit our results, what are we going to do today to be better? And then we're placing out our daily commitments. And then we hold each other accountable on a high level, mastermind with each other. Along with a couple times a week, we have coachings and trainings to always improve our skill set. And then it's always just having, an atmosphere, and we like to call it a family, where you're always able to bounce, ideas and things that you're going on within a deal, maybe marketing strategies, kind of all the time. I really compare it to, being on one of the major teams, a bigger team within the brokerage. And I think that, environment is really critical for your success and what you're looking for.
Awesome. Makes a lot of sense. And, when we look at your business results or outcomes from over the last 18 months, I think you said you had closed or so 10 deals. What have you been able to accomplish since joining our company over the last 30 days?
Yes, I think it's been about 6 weeks, but in that time I've taken 8 signed listings, and then 6 of them have went up on the market, 4 of them have went pending. So really, just in the past 6 weeks, it's almost half of what I've done the past 18 months. So that's kind of the results that I've personally seen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so so let's talk about the future for just a second, and then we'll end this up. And I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. But what does your goal look like for the future? What do you want to try to accomplish over the next, I would say, 12 to 18 months in your real estate sales business?
Yeah, so right now, my biggest focus is I want to get on track to closing 1 deal a week as quickly as possible. And I think when I get to that point, I'm going to start, getting an income that I'm happy with. And then I can look, to start growing a team and that sort of thing. But, for me, it's not even looking, 12, 18 months in the future. I think it's within the coaching. It's winning the day every day. So for me, I'm laser focused in every day, 50 contacts, 1 met, 1 listing signed a week. And that's kind of where the focus is at.
I love it. I love your focus right now. I think you're very dialed in. I know that I am very, very excited and grateful to be in business with people like you, because I think you have the right mindset. You're working on getting the right skill set and the right habits. And I think when we interview you a year from now, Nick, I think that your story is just going to be even much more that inspiring. So, dude, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. If anybody's watching this in the future or wants to reach out to you for questions, Nick, what's the best way for people to communicate with you?
Yeah, feel free to call, text me, 586-651-9703, or shoot me an email, southeastmirealtor@gmail.com.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you taking the time to do this, and I'm sure we'll talk to you really soon. Have an awesome day, Nick.
Take care, boss.